This call is being recorded.
All right. Yeah, as always, don't hesitate to interrupt if there is anything you want to ask or if you have any questions. Yeah, it's good to see you were born 29 degrees Aries. That is always a huge deal. Um, the sun, of course, is exalted here. And as a Leo rising, that gives you the sun god king archetype. Given that,
Wow.
yeah, and everyone I've ever met with this, you can see it. It's like a god goddess of light aspect. And I feel like it correlates to the Egyptian god Ra, since this is like prime light energy, but it's not necessary. I know someone who had this who did identify with that. But personally, we know that the sun is, of course, the ruler of your chart, and you have the ruler of your chart exalted 29 degrees in Aries, which is a huge deal. So, unlike other sun god king and queens, you actually have your Saturn in Aries with Mars in its dignity in Aries. So, this actually also gives you rulership and authority over fire and subsequently light, to where Sagittarius will give you an element of like light manipulation. But seeing that you have Pluto trine Saturn, yeah, this is definitely a power that once you have complete your Saturn return, you'll definitely be instilling. So Saturn in Aries is the leader of the new school. This is the
Wow.
Yeah, it's the first karmic cycle that brings in Pluto Sagittarius. So as a Pluto Scorpio, we're here to destroy the world, basically, and the old traditions. And then Pluto Sagittarius, you guys create the brand new world. You guys are, of course, the first generation to ascend and show everyone on a world level or collective level supernatural abilities. And so that creation of the new world starts with Saturn and Aries, and that's why I consider y'all the sparkers of the new concepts of the earth, or the leaders of the new school. Pretty late. And relative to that, you clearly are not only king, with the Leo rising, but you came here to command and teach authenticity. It hits different too because, yeah,
Wow.
it's a huge deal. Even though Saturn is in its fall in Aries, you have Mars in its dignity. So, I have Mars in its dignity too, but in the ninth house, you're someone who's going to link masculine assertion, raw authenticity, and originality with how you lead by example and teach. So, whether this is formally done, whether it's informally done, that's a huge element of how you lead by example. By, of course, ninth house sons are spirit teachers. But now let's take this even deeper, because you have the North Node that at the end of July is going to go exactly on your sun, and you were born with the North Node in Libra. So you're taking the resources of the philosophical approach you have towards how raw you exalt your very being, and the desire, what I mean, to travel, to express yourself, or travel even figuratively, what I mean. And Saturn is the discipline that once you have your return, you'll have the authority to really, be you, or teach you, or teach what it is you teach. Because I'm just using you as an example, but this could be anything that you really just put your authenticity on. But you're using that as a resource to develop almost sort of a new social language, to ask the right questions and speak up about the right issues socially. North Node, third house. And of course, with Chiron, this means that your healing is linked with your destiny. So, of course, when it comes to the nature of how it is you form opinions and attitudes relative to the social environment around you, once again, it's you're challenged towards compromising where necessary, but connecting and bridging the right ideas. And then, of course, as an Aries sun, this is opposite you. So this third house lesson of speaking up about the right things is going to be towards other people and how it is in relationships with other people. You polish their attitude, you heal their mindset, their social attitude. How it also favors like polishing the nature of one's authenticity and raw talent, and you help people find their voice and to really by helping them understand how unique and authentic they are. So with that being said, um thankfully we know that at 1 years old you already progressed in a Taurus. Perks of being, a master of a sign, especially
Yeah.
at very end. So you're 25 degrees Taurus sun. And the most important thing that we look at is the lunar cycle, okay? Because the lunar cycle is going to give us a very powerful idea of course, what stage you are in your life. I'm currently coming off the heels of a 7 year harvest cycle. 2017, I had the full moon in Capricorn as a progressed Cancer sun. And I didn't realize at the time, but when you go through the full moon, you harvest the greatest success of that period. So for me, that was the first year I started making like 6 figures a year, like 100 grand. And I haven't had to work a job since. And I'm coming up off the end of this harvest as the moon will leave Aries, and I'm getting ready to shift gears and level up. We know this is very important for you because the timing of this is ridiculous. You, of course, were born with your moon in Taurus, but guess where the moon is right now? It's progressed 8 degrees Taurus. You are in range of kicking off a brand new moon in Taurus cycle. And the reason why that's so crazy is because Jupiter and Uranus is in your sign in Taurus, or it's in Taurus. So this new cycle is going to start off with a bang. I talked about the full moon, which is going to bring completion and harvest, but the new moon I think is even more exciting because it literally initiates a brand new cycle. And this is you planting seeds. So let's actually now go deeper and unlock the context of this. Of course, you were born. See, dude, your chart is legit, man. You have a very royal chart. You have a very
Oh
royal.
man.
No, it's no joke, man. Like you got the Leo rising, so your main character, and then your moon and your sun is exalted. Like I've always wanted to do a special like documentary or kind of video on that because I don't think people know like the level of exaltation that at the sun and moon level that brings. And you got Mars in your dignity. That's a really awesome thing to have. For me, I'm a little reckless with it. So like I could just move instinctually and it's cool until it's too reckless. And now it's like, oh, I probably should have thought before I did that. But I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's cooler with you having your sun in Aries because this can, with the Uranus and Aqua, give you like an ultra instinct. Oh, and your sun does square Neptune. So you will be able to instinctually respond to people's body language and behavior without having to have details, even though you have Virgo in your chart, second house. So I hope that resonates with you because that is supernatural. It's not normal and it could feel really weird or strange.
Oh no, yeah. I literally I'm thinking about times where I it's like I don't even want to project how I see such body language, but it's just so obvious at some points where it's like, are they looking at me that way? But I could kind of sense that they're not. That there, yeah, is a bit of a special ability that I can. Yeah, it's definitely yes something I can't really put into words, but yes, it's more so a feeling when it comes to it because it is that perception. So yeah, that is it's yes, it's aligning a lot with things.
You said that very perfectly too, because Neptune is having you be aware of a metaphysical influence connected to someone's through someone's body language and behavior as well. So it's going to be near impossible to put into words because in some cases that person isn't even aware that they're doing that, or sometimes you're picking up on what they're feeling. And I love how you said that because it could sometimes feel like it's being you're projecting it or it's being projected, but when you learn to kind of just see it as a non-linear sense and it not having to be in context to that moment, sometimes it's just like where to caution. I mean, you'll know more how to feel this, especially because Pluto is retrograding back over this, so it's reawakening this for the last time.
Okay.
And that square to your sun is definitely just shifting how much more powerfully you adjust your behavior and awaken this element of your behavior. before it works in your seventh. But anyway, you were born right after the new moon in Aries, right? Then you had the first quarter square in Leo because, of course, the sun immediately moved into Taurus. Then you had the full moon in Scorpio. And then you had the harvest period, finished the harvest with the moon in Aquarius. And let's actually go a little bit back in time so I can give you an idea of when this actually happened for you. If we actually go back to like 2003, that was when the moon was in Leo for you. So that was when you had the first quarter square. And then 2010 was when you had the full moon. Specifically, yeah, the end of 2010 was when you started your harvest, relative to the Taurus cycle. Then, if we go to 2017, we know that that was when you had the third quarter square. So 2017 was when you understood the knowledge of how to maintain the legacy of your value, especially with MC and Taurus. All this Taurus energy with Uranus and the North Node as a Leo rising is manifesting a monopoly of some sorts. At such a young age, you're getting ready to manifest your legacy. Congratulations, by the way. This is a huge deal. And that full moon from 2010 to 2017 was the realization of who you can trust with this value, how you understand where you feel comfortable at home with this value, and finishing off this harvest. The moon in Aqua is helping you understand who you move forward with, or who has knowledge of success with you, what the knowledge of your relationships will influence how you step into the success.
Wow.
And of course, now if we come into now 2023, uh, in about another year and a half, specifically, if we say um 20, no, 17 months from now, give or take, like a year and 5 months, you're gonna have this new moon. And that's going to kick off a brand new cycle of value in Taurus. Your MC at current is Gemini. So this grounded legacy has shifted into a true legacy that will really enlighten more how you get the message of this value out here. But this progression is very uncannily well timed. Mars is progressed in Taurus. Mercury has retrograded, and will subsequently at some point go direct soon. So everything is focusing around really grounding the element of your physical strength and values. Of course, Aries turns the grapes into fine wine with Taurus. Taurus turns it into fine wine and takes the grapes from Aries, rather. So the purpose of this is to prepare you for the Gemini transit, because you've spent near 30 years. Of course, you're not 30 yet, but you're coming around to there. And this is all preparing you for your Saturn return, which is going to be very powerful, which I can presume in the eighth, ninth, you're gonna have the authority to teach people about the occult wisdom and secrets about their own identity. And it doesn't have to be limited to that, but that's just an idea. But
Right.
this is a huge payday. Like, you're getting ready to make bank, bro, because Taurus is still second house to your Aries sun. So the money, the finances are going to completely strengthen your legacy and career. And if I give you an exact date, actually, if we go to like 2025, I'm pretty sure it'll be in Gemini already. Yeah, the moon will be in Gemini. So it's going to be a 27-degree new moon. That's going to happen. I want to say, let's see, 21, 7. So like the top of 2025, like January 2025, which is very iconic because we will have Saturn getting ready to move into Aries. So, see, that's how well your timing is. Um, as soon as you start the new moon, Saturn and Neptune will be ready to leave Pisces, and you'll start your Saturn return. So, knowing that, that's really auspicious because it's giving you a telltale sign that everything is timed so well for you, for this new moon cycle. And why is that important? During this period, you're releasing the old cycle. It could feel like you don't know. It's not necessarily saying you're lost, but you should be feeling somewhat of lethargic. You should be feeling maybe even a bit of self sabotage. Self doubt should be creeping up a lot because any imposter syndrome or self-doubt, you're purging, you're effectively purging. Saturn and Pisces, that's behind your Saturn and Aries, you're releasing all that because you're getting ready to start a brand new cycle, completely brand new. And I mean, relative to you being a leader of the new school, this is really just having you shed a lot of the old traditions you grew up with along with us, because they have nothing to do with you. You're someone who is going to teach people how to be, not even themselves, how to bring the fire to their own personality, how to speak up and know, it's a huge ordeal. But let's put it in context for you. Uranus, once again, is in Taurus. Jupiter is in Taurus. All right. 2024 in May, Jupiter leaves Taurus. And starting next year, by this time next year in 2024, Jupiter is going to be on your progressed MC in Gemini. So you're also coinciding this period where you're coming into success. Of course, before your Saturn return, when someone goes through this, you're establishing success early on before you maintain it. And uh during this period, Jupiter going over your MC is a career evolution. So you've been sowing the seeds for that. Uranus is innovating the unnatural, unconventional quality of how this can turn into unexpected windfalls of income because of very innovative, genius ideas. To facilitate this, Uranus, of course, post 2026 will go into Gemini. So this is getting ready to just really hook you up. Venus, which is getting ready to leave Gemini at 27 degrees, is really just enlightening how much more you could express poetically with your heart and intelligently with your heart. And then, of course, your rising is in Virgo. So that puts your progressed DC in Pisces, uh, putting you in a position to develop with Saturn and Neptune divine partnerships. So this is having you transform your behavior and boundaries with what partnerships you trust more and how you integrate that into your lifestyle. But yeah, it's definitely very amazing because if we look in another couple of, if we look at the top of 2025, this is where Uranus, Jupiter will already be in, of course, Gemini or Cancer to get ready to go. We're going to Cancer, and Uranus will be ready to go into Gemini. Pluto will be well into Aqua over your Uranus. So that's once again telltale sign. By the time Uranus is in Gemini and Pluto's on your Uranus, you are effectively I like to see everything up into this point as you working on the earth. The Capricorn and Taurus is what organized the direction you're planting the seeds for your legacy, right? This was you kind of grounding, this is my plans. This is you putting the groundwork up. And then once this goes into Gemini and Aquarius, you're now promoting it socially. Like now you're socializing and networking about what you've carefully and practically built on your body, built on your brand. And this is going to bring more visibility, more intellect, more enlightenment, more fun, amongst other things, especially as an Aries, because as a Gemini, I can't wait to progress in a Leo because that's the third house to it. And I don't feel like I have to deal with Cancer and psychic attack and feelings. Is that how you feel in Taurus? Like, do you feel like the Taurus just kind of grounds you down a little bit too heavy, and once you get into Gemini, you'll be a lot more free and just expressing your ideas?
Yeah, I definitely feel, yeah, too grounded, really. Yeah, I feel like it's just too intense sometimes. I don't know, it's something where it's like, because with, yeah, that type of earth sign and it being fixed, yeah, you feel kind of stuck in a way.
Yeah,
So a lot of times when you're trying to grasp for more of something that's more than just that, because I am very Taurus energy. That's why I was always confused with the Aries thing. So the progression makes more sense, especially how you mentioned it was around the age of one when it progressed into Taurus from the sun.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and so I feel like I'm at a point now where, yeah, it definitely, like you mentioned the psychic attacks and stuff. Like I feel, yeah, I just can't. I'm looking forward to that because now with me having a background of knowledge with this, seeing when that transit does happen, I'm interested, yes, of seeing what differences because I do think it's going to be significant. 'Cause I think I've been here for so long, and that's so I really resonated with that tourist element.
Yeah, and you really put in your work there. You got your moon once again exalted, so you understand Taurus more than most people. And you know, you're a very disciplined person. You put in the work, and I think it's
Right.
amazing you're ready to, accomplish that. And really the way this looks like for you, bro, it's like the beginning of the rest of your life. Like the rest of your life is going to be like smooth sailing. Yeah, challenges, new levels, new devils, but like I think you did most of the hard work, which was really just like establishing this groundedness and the values that
Right.
now in 5 years it's enlightenment transit. So this is about, of course, Aries is the spirit. Taurus now manifests the quality of your physical strength and body, so that based off of that, you now have a healthy, balanced body to work on your mind and your brain and your thoughts and enlightenment and expressing these ideas that in Leo you'll express more courageously. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very fun chapter for you in 5 years. And the last 5 years of this is just closure, like completely taking everything you've set. You've built the house pretty much as your body. And now you get to add all these cool features in the house really through Gemini and lighten the mind. And now the moon is going to go over your Mars in 2 months from now. Mars is about to go 10. So all this is going to be on your natal moon. It's going to be a progressed lunar return. And that is going to just return and revisit your understanding of yourself now that you are no longer an Aries, but you're a Taurus. Now you're a boss. You become the boss. You're getting ready for an angel initiation in 5 years. So the moon will beat the sun there in 2025, and you will begin to understand the truth of what value you're manifesting. But it's just such a pivotal period once again because of all this 10th house ownership and understanding. And you definitely, with Uranus here, you're tapping an innovation, but don't necessarily be tempted to feel like you have to have certain things figured out before you do, especially before the Saturn return. I think you're making great progress, great timing. In 7 years, right? When Gemini is 2 degrees progressed for you, it's going to oppose the Pluto Sag. So that's the huge awakening checkpoint you're waiting for. I think that's going to be a period that, in proximity to your progressed MC, will blow you up. I think it's definitely going to hook you up with amazing opportunities to just kind of put yourself more out there individually and for people to kind of take advantage in a good way of what value you have to offer them. So yeah, I would look forward to a lot. Once again, the next year and a half is closure. Like as the moon is behind your sun, it should feel like what what do I do next? Like, what direction do I want to take? Am I really worth it? Like this, it's not that you won't have confidence, but if you're feeling self doubt, that's because Saturn is behind your Saturn and your progressed moon is behind your progressed sun. As soon as they conjunct and move forward, you know what direction to go into. It's a new cycle. You know what I mean? So like you're getting ready to step into the new planet seeds, and it's just going to be super awesome because Jupiter is over here now and evolving your soul and spirit. Uranus is innovating this. So it's literally like you're setting yourself up for so much like greatness and success.
Shoot.
Even the
Yes.
Uranus trine, even the Uranus and Aquarius trine, like that's gonna set off Gemini for you. If it was just the Gemini chapter, it would be fun. You would come into massive enlightenment. You got Saturn and Aries that is anchoring it, so it'll ground it. But Uranus is just going to be this claircognizant source where you're gonna know exactly what to say. It's just gonna be channeled brilliance, and I think you're gonna really enjoy that. I think it's gonna be super fun.
Definitely, man. Wow. For sure. I'm trying to think if I see anything in particular, but like you hit on everything. What if you can go more into like the significance of? I know you hit a lot with Gemini, but like Venus, and I know how that goes a lot with the Taurus energy, with how it has rulership there with the love. I think of and the values. Um, but like what I think that's like the only thing in particular. Just like more about Venus and the placement where it's at and where it's going.
Venus and Gemini, yeah, that's a good point. So we know that Venus is in Gemini. It's progressed like 27 degrees for you, and that's King Kunxing your natal and progressed Neptune and Cap. So that's definitely going to transform how that subliminal or indirect nature of your intuition, you're able to communicate more. Maybe even indirectly, like you may not always be aware of how what you're saying is speaking to what someone's thinking. But basically, this Venus transit is important because your MC is progressed into Gemini. So it's polishing your thoughts about what you're supposed to accomplish. MC in Gemini, especially as a Virgo rising, is putting out your message out there. I actually met a Virgo rising natal yesterday. It was a Sag, and she has MC in Gemini, and she actually worked for broadcast news sources and put messages out there. It's not limited for journalism, but your
Wow.
legacy, yeah, it's to in your case, it's to take the grounded value in Taurus and then progress into Gemini, put it out there through blogs, videos, even if you're just talking to people.
Right.
That your legacy now is to be heard. Venus here is going to take the quality of this and it's going to be beautiful. You're going to be eloquent. And it's manifesting the progressed Taurus sun in sextile to Aries. So this is bring you more money or value. It's going to really polish the sources or expressions that you can do this with. And then also because it's in your natal 11, it's also connecting you with people who you like, people who like you, who share in values of the heart. But I would also dare say that the main purpose of Venus, which at this point is leading your chart, is having you follow your heart and how your heart stimulates your brain towards greater activity. Because now Venus will at some point move into Cancer. That's the next stage. I think by 2025, it is going to be in there. No, Venus does not move that fast as much as I thought. It's going to be 28 degrees. So possibly by like 2027, uh, oh, the moon's gonna catch up to it. So 2027, the moon's gonna be in 28 degrees Gemini. Yeah, Venus moves pretty slow. I didn't think about that. So yeah, kind of coming into the next decade, the 2030s, Venus will be in Cancer, Sun will be in Gemini. Uh, Moon is gonna go into Cancer like 2027 of August and September. So something to keep in mind. That's gonna just kind of facilitate more of this transition. But yeah,
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, that is really great. How you talked about how it's leading the other signs too, and all love, and that's really all it is there, love. So that is a key word there. I know you talked a lot about Saturn because like Aries and Saturn, like how Aries, like for where it typically is in the first house, how it looks up to Saturn, Capricorn on the 10th, kind of like the lamb looking up to the goat type of thing, and the
yeah.
significance between those two. And I think how the Jupiter with the Capricorn in the fifth house, and that kind of associates with Leo and all the different signs of the Leo and the, you know, embodiment really of the love in a sense too of how you get portrayed onto others and that energy. I think very shortly, I know because it's around the 30-minute mark now, but um, that energy with Jupiter and Capricorn in the fifth house with my ascendant typically in the natal being Leo, I think there's like a lot of significance there with just all what that chart represents. Because I think about myself as being very humble, but that humbling isn't like I don't try to come off as like as a douche in a way. Like I just try to be very. And so I see that place. I think kind of goes into that.
So you don't lord it over people. You don't lord your existence
Right.
over other people, which is
Yes.
crazy because you're one of the few people who can. And that's what I noticed. Like people who have legit God energy or judge energy, they don't lord themselves over other people. Even though you kind of have the authority to, like, there's a way you do without doing it, just like by being yourself and just by
Yes.
consequence. So it's important because I'm using the equal sign system. So every house of yours is 21 degrees, and I blend it with whole. I don't really use Placidus, although it is accurate. So your Jupiter is right next to your sixth house cusp. It does fall into the fifth house, right? So let's make sense of that. Jupiter at where it is for you is evolving the incredible grounded nature and quality of your lifestyle as a Leo rising. So sixth house Capricorn is the integrity of your lifestyle. Neptune and Jupiter is actually the abundance of how gifted you are at organizing your routine, and you are able to organize
Wow.
other people's routine and collective sense. It's so intuitive here with Neptune that you can gain intuitive insights and just suddenly just be like, you know what? I was supposed to play basketball later today at 6 after work. I don't feel like playing basketball anymore. And as soon as you say that, your friends call you and you're like, hey, remember that basketball game we were going to play? We canceled it. I'm not playing anymore. So it's almost as if your unconscious decisions can affect not only your lifestyle, but Jupiter is the abundance. Now, because it falls into the fifth house, this is going to blend the creativity, the grounded creativity and talent that you're naturally gifted at integrating in your lifestyle. And the reason why that's important is your rising is in Virgo now. So now now Jupiter is in your fifth house. It's in your progress fifth house. So this is just kind of revisiting as a Leo rising how you maintain this discipline and rather uh integration, and now as a Virgo rising how you integrate this creatively. And that's what I respect, because with that fifth house Capricorn energy, you're going to put your heart into what you love, but it has to be the greatest. You're going to put so much work behind it and into it, instead of just wanting to have fun, which you have the best of both worlds. Because I always like to use Aries and Virgo for the example, but you have the Aries sun and the progressive Virgo rising, so if anything it'll blend elements of both. But yeah, it's a lot to keep in mind, especially when Jupiter goes into Cancer and opposes your Jupiter since 2020. It is like a 6-year completion arc of evolution, which is
Wow.
lit. Yeah,
That's what's up, man. I have a lot to take from this. I appreciate it, Michael.
no problem. Definitely looking forward to keeping in touch, if anything.
For sure, for sure. And for this recording, is that where can I find it if it is available?
I'm sorry, what was that?
For the recording, where would I be able to listen to this in the past time?
Yes, so I'm going to email this to you right now, and then you'll get an email from WeTransfer.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, because I'm gonna take another look at it, take some more notes. I took some, but I'm gonna be more specific with it and meditate, resonate. So I appreciate you spending the time out and going over this with me.
Yeah, that's no problem. And if anything, um, yeah, feel free to keep in touch. If you ever want another reading, I have a 50% off discount code you can use. And yeah, you stay blessed as always. I'm gonna send you the picture of the chart too.
Yeah, I may definitely will look into that because you definitely. I think the lunar cycle one was one I was interested in because, I mean, I know obviously the significance of the moon, and so seeing the different transits with that and going to that type of report would be something I would be. So yeah, definitely would be interested. Would look into something like that for sure.
Beautiful. Sounds great. All right, you stay blessed as always.
Same to you, Michael. Thank you.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.